welcome back. Basically, the HYPNOBAND treatment is divided up into 4 sessions, with sessions 1 to 3 happening over 3 consecutive weeks, and session 4 taking place 4 to 6 weeks after session 3, which is your surgery session. So in session 1 we're going to look at the habits, the routines and the emotions around overeating. Because overeating, in my experience, is never really about food. It's about getting into bad habits, bad routines, or it's about using food as a response to certain emotions. Emotions such as boredom, loneliness, stress or anxiety. So what we'll do in session 1 is we'll identify 1, why you do what you do, and then 2, how it's working for you. After that, we'll then formulate a strategy for making the changes you need to make to get you where you want to get. And we'll do this by filling in a couple of detailed forms. We'll then take that information and we'll use it in your first hypnosis session. In this hypnosis session, we'll allow you to see yourself as you want to be, at your target weight, looking and feeling fantastic. We'll allow you to see yourself making the changes we work through during that session. And as we've already established, you'll be making these changes because you want to, not because you have to. After that, we'll then start on the process of portion control, so your stomach feels smaller and tighter, so when you eat food, you feel satisfied on less. Session 1 lasts approximately 90 minutes, and clients typically lose between 3 to 9 pounds after this first session, depending of course on their starting point. In between sessions there are also 2 relaxing hypnosis downloads to listen to each night in the comfort of your own home. And these nicely reinforce what we do in the face-to-face sessions and really allow all those positive visualizations and suggestions to come to life. Sessions 2 and 3 are what we call the portion control sessions. And I appreciate that what I'm about to say here may sound a bit weird and wacky, but please bear with me, it'll all make sense at the end. Session 2 is what we call the pre-op session. In session 2 we'll firstly check on your progress following session 1, just to make sure everything's as it should be. After that we'll then start to rectify excessive portion sizes, and we'll do this using hypnosis. So you'll once again be hypnotised. This time however, while you're hypnotised, you'll then be introduced to your surgeon and your anaesthetist. This is the surgeon and anaesthetist who'll be conducting your virtual gastric band operation, and this all happens in your mind of course. So you'll go into the consultation room, your surgeon and anaesthetist will be there, and they'll explain to you exactly how the gastric band procedure works and how it will benefit you. The wonderful thing is you can choose whoever you want to be your surgeon and your anaesthetist. So you can choose real medical professionals if you know them. If you realise you don't, no problem, you can choose instead fictional medical staff. As such, Holby City, Grey's Anatomy and ER seem to figure quite highly. If you're not familiar with any of those, then you have the choice of anybody and everybody, and I mean anyone and everyone. So as long as it's individuals that make you feel safe and secure, or who maybe have an authoritative air about them. So Brad Pitt and George Clooney seem to figure quite highly. Others my clients have chosen include David Essex, Alan Sugar, Anton Deck, Rod Stewart, Dalai Lama, David Cameron, and so on and so forth. I even had a gay male client who chose Kylie Minogue. It really is completely up to you. All I need to know is whether your surgeon and anaesthetist are male or female. The rest, as they say, is up to you. That then leads us on to session 3, your surgery session. In session 3 you'll once again be hypnotised. Whilst hypnotised you'll then find yourself going into hospital and into a private room. A nurse will come round, take your blood pressure, check your pulse and temperature, and will make sure that everything's all set. You'll then be visited by your surgeon and anaesthetist, after which you'll be given a couple of drowsy tablets before being wheeled down to the operating theatre and then undergoing your virtual gastric band operation. I understand completely if this all sounds a little strange, but as weird and wacky as this may sound, the analogy I use is this. If you've ever had a dream or a nightmare, you're woken up the next morning, you'll know that your dream or nightmare wasn't real, but may still have had a profound effect on your emotions, so you may have felt tearful, angry or upset. Even years later, if you remember back to that dream or nightmare, it may still provoke a pang of emotion in you. Well, what we're doing in session 2 and 3 is we're planting in the subconscious part of your mind that you've actually been through this gastric band operation, even though in reality you know you haven't. It was just a hypnotherapy technique. But what it's going to mean is when you eat food, the subconscious part of your brain is really going to be listening to your stomach, and you'll realise you feel satisfied on much less food. Not full and bloated, but just nicely satisfied. It doesn't mean you couldn't eat more if you wanted to. It means you'll feel nicely satisfied and that any food left on that plate is now wasted food that either goes into the husband, the dog or the bin because you're not going to eat it. And you know why? Not because you have to, but because you want to. Because you want to be at your target weight, looking and feeling fantastic. I hope that all makes sense. So in session 1 we deal with habits, routines and emotions around overeating. In session 2 and 3 we deal with portion control. So in those first 3 sessions we've dealt with all the reasons for overeating. Sound good? The next session, session 4, takes place 4 to 6 weeks after your surgery session. And session 4 can either be an adjustment session or a reinforcement session, or both. So let me explain that a little better. As with the surgical gastric band, after 4 to 6 weeks, it's adjusted. Well, we do exactly the same thing with your HYPNO band. So after 4 to 6 weeks, you can come back and have your band adjusted if you feel you need it. So we'll tighten it up if you feel like you're still eating too much, or we'll loosen it off if you feel like you're not eating enough. If, however, everything's going just as you want, and you're steadily losing the recommended 2 to 3 pounds each week, and you feel your habits and behaviours have changed, then session 4 is a reinforcement session. And that means you'll be hypnotised. Whilst hypnotised, I'll then congratulate you on your progress so far, and help you realise just how much you've actually achieved, so you feel completely committed to continuing on your personal journey of change. You'll leave that session feeling like $1 million. So that is basically what the HYPNOBAND treatment is all about. But just one final thing. Your success and the success of this treatment depends on your commitment to yourself and your desire to change. So if you're sick of dieting, you'll be pleased to know this isn't a diet. It's not an exercise plan. There are no red and green days, no points to count, no calories, no measuring and no milkshakes. Because you already know they don't work as a long-term weight loss method. The HYPNOBAND treatment is all about changing you from the inside out, rather than from the outside in. And we do this by changing your understandings about why you do what you do, and then giving you the tools to change your life for good, using common sense back to basics information and the wonderful relaxing power of hypnosis. I hope that all makes sense and has given you the insight you need into this wonderful treatment. So if you wish to find out more, I offer a free consultation that lasts approximately 30 minutes. Together we can sit down, discuss exactly where you are today, where you want to be, and how the HYPNOBAND treatment can help you. And of course I'll answer any questions you may have. To arrange your consultation, you can call me on 0800 860 0295 or simply email me at info@slimsussex.com. So thank you for taking the time to watch these videos, and I look forward to hearing from you if you wish to arrange your HYPNOBAND consultation.